I also really liked his mindset about the Acolyte coin turn. It wasn't just Crystology. It was dealing with the not the Wild Pyromancer, dealing with the Crystal Merchant.
Yeah.
Also sets himself up for True Silver.
If you're going to draw cards, I am too.
Lots of additional little reasons.
A lot of cool stuff in that one. So that brings us to our bonus match here at Scintillating Sunday, our 6th match of the day. That's right. There's 6 of them that are taking place here. So buckle in. It's Hunterace taking on RDU, top of the bracket versus bottom of the bracket. RDU desperately needs to start getting wins. 3 matches left, 4 and 7. Stuff has got to give. Viper picked up the win yesterday, moved him up a notch. He's got to get it done here.
That being said, Hunterace had, I'm going to say uncharacteristic. He had an uncharacteristic loss yesterday. And the only reason I call it uncharacteristic is because he doesn't lose. That is not the norm for Hunterace. So maybe this is just going to be an uncharacteristic weekend. RDU picks up the win here.
I mean, I wouldn't call it characteristic of RDU to lose. Like,
that's fair.
He's been winning for like half a decade.
For Hunterace, though, it would be uncharacteristic of him to lose.
Just ever.
Literally ever.
Yeah.
That's just like uncommon. What happened?
Well, I saw him wince at his opening hand.
It's not powerful. The good news is, for Hunterace, RDU doesn't have a 1-drop. We talked about the importance of that earlier on.
Neither does Hunterace.
He could play a River Croc. He could coin out Never Set Ritualist. Probably not what he wants to do.
Well, what is that lineup good against?
Nothing.
Top decked Light Warden?
I must consider.
That's a pretty well against top decked Light Warden. That's about it.
Quickly.
Nothing.
He's thinking about it. What draws do you have that make it good? You know, if RDU top decks Northshire Cleric, if you top deck an Inner Fire.
Inner Fire is a good reason to consider it. Tempo matters so much.
Oh!
Patience. Top deck Light Warden! I don't think he's going to play it. That being said,
well,
that's
no, he's
going to
play the Tolvir.
Yeah,
but
of course. You are so funny, man.
Thanks, Gallon. You know what, Gallon? I think you're pretty funny, too.
Thank you. Not as funny as top deck Light Warden. Thank you. Wow.
Well, I was
suddenly... Yeah, go ahead.
I was liking the Injured Circle. Honestly, I kind of still like it.
Plays around... You got Extra Arms Silence to beat their Extra Arms. That's a very specific thing, though, because Extra Arms is only a 1-of copy in RDU's list.
But if you play the Injured and you don't Extra Arms, you're vulnerable to Wild Pyro plus a spell. You're vulnerable to Extra Arms.
You're vulnerable to
Inner Fire, technically.
Inner Fire is... Well, that's one that's really scary because they can heal up the 2-3, make it a 2-5, and then just Inner Fire.
This is a very strange spot. I don't think he's going to circle.
You got a Cleric in hand.
Oh boy, this is potentially ugly. Yeah,
Wins from Hunterace. Now that being said, there's still some very good draws. There's still some very good draws.
Wow, his
and
eyes
Hunterace
just
is
light up.
Yes.
Games are so scary.
I love these tense battles where it's not a blowout. It doesn't feel like a blowout yet.
Back and forth. The back and forth.
Absolutely. RDU's going to swing back with a Psychopomp sometimes, maybe going for a Wild Pyromancer line if... You know, there's a lot of deviations from what happens from here, but that's a good pickup. Love to see it.
Wild Pyro, Northshire, Silence, Circle?
Do you need a circle here?
Well, you would draw 2 cards.
Do you need a circle here is my counter-argument to that. There's a lot of things you could do.
Feels pretty bad in the matchup.
Yes, except when you have a Northshire Cleric yourself.
It also sets up your Ritualist. Yes.
Let me get to my point. You could go Wild Pyromancer, Silence, and then just play a 1-3 Cleric.
Okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I'm just putting that out there. I like it.
Makes sense to me.
Plays around Wild Pyromancer pretty well. That's all I'm going to say.
What are they going to do? Wild Pyro and Injure
Hunterace
my
is a
Cleric?
smart cookie. That's all I'm going to say. I'm sure Hunterace is thinking way harder about this than I am. But I just threw it out there. I just said it's a play. I don't know if he did doing it was actually like the best thing.
I
but
don't know. Thinking harder than Gallon.
What do the cards
It was literally
say?
this is the only alternative kind of play.
That sounds tough.
Sounds pretty easy. The Psychopomp gets really awkward.
It's so weird.
Well, Hunterace honestly set up for a Psychopomp incredibly well with how he did it.
That's the benefit of holding the circle. That's in my head the prime reason to hold the circle.
He sets himself up for a Power Word Shield or specifically a Beaming Sidekick to just blow this game out of the water if RDU plays a Psychopomp next turn.
That's what I'm worried about for RDU.
Hunterace could extra arms the Wild Pyromancer, circle a healing, kill the 2/5. If he gets a Beaming Sidekick, he also kills the 2.
All right.
This is what's going to happen.
More left in me.
You got 3 draws as Hunterace here to just, I would not say cinch the game or like clutch the game. Clinch the game. A mixture of that. Clinch the game. Thanks for the help.
That's what I'm here for, bud.
Thank you.
Hang in there, Gallon.
I'm trying. Oh, let's go, Beaming Sidekick.
You're just cheering for his ultimate destruction.
And this is really unfair because I just said I want a close game. It's not there.
Well, I would still call this advantage Hunterace. So, although, I mean, RDU will get a chance to develop here.
Well, there is something here, right? Because while Pyromancer more arms kills off the 5/1.
Yeah.
You set yourself up pretty nicely to contest most things that Hunterace does.
1 copy of Silence in Hunterace's deck. You've seen it.
Yep. So,
I've got more left in me.
is it really that bad?
Let's find out.
Ooh. Next turn, you have High Priest Ahmet,
Yeah.
Beaming Sidekick, Light Warden.
Yeah. Now things are pretty much
It's
spelled
starting.
out for you.
Yeah, yeah. You could go High Priest Ahmet, Light Warden now. That sounds painful. You know about more arms in your opponent's hand. You don't have an Inner Fire.
I'm killing the Wild Pyro.
Kill the Wild Pyromancer.
Yeah.
That's where I'm landing as well.
Can you kill it better, though? Like, is this with the Divine Spirit? I don't think so. Does this contest the Ahmet?
There's also a world where you've seen the Silence. So High Priest Ahmet, Divine Spirit into follow-up could also be a thing.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, too. Like, how greedy can you get?
That's- I'm pretty sure Ahmet plus 2/1 drops is good enough.
You're just thinking about just, like, dominating from that point.
Yeah,
because that's what the matchup's about.
Yes, yes. You play like, what, 40 stats worth of stuff in one turn?
I actually don't know. It's like at
We can
least
do the
8 per
math, but
minion.
it's boring. It's a lot. Well,
Yeah, it's not the greatest, though. Honestly, I would consider that pretty poor right now.
you could Inner Fire the Cleric if you're worried about something like Ahmet, but it's probably incorrect.
It seems
Yeah.
really yucky.
That doesn't sound quite good enough. It does play for tempo. It's the hardest you can fight for tempo this turn. A lot of times priest matchups come down to that.
It makes some sense.
Also makes just trading the Wild Pyromancer in a little bit more awkward.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried for Hunterace on all health buff fronts if he chooses to Inner Fire.
There are a ton of reasons why Inner Firing here actually makes sense.
I think he might have to do it because he just
I think he has to do
he
it.
gets destroyed by a spell if he doesn't, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh boy. So Wild Pyro's health is currently set maximum 6. So you could heal it up with the Ritualist. You could Divine Spirit it to 12. Wild Pyro procs and hits it to 11.
It's weird that we're
What
deviating
must
away
I do?
deviating away from the High Priest Ahmet double 1-drop line, but it makes sense.
It's just too strong. You have to contest the Northshire.
It's just too strong.
So Beaming Sidekick, you trade in.
Do you have to play Beaming Sidekick?
I think there's a lot of different ways to do this.
That's true.
What do the
I got
cards
you,
But the
friend.
TLDR for me is advantage RDU.
Is someone injured?
Oh, this is interesting. I kind of like this.
Does this mean he's playing a Light Warden as well? Just play for
Oh,
max tempo,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Smart.
I like it.
How much health do you really need on a Wild Pyro?
I think it's 8. I could be wrong. I think it's 8. Hey, got it right. That one's always tricky. The one where you Divine Spirit with like a damage minion.
You have to. It's the initial health plus whatever the double of
Yes.
its current health is.
But it gets way more tricky when you add like double Divine Spirit to it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The
That's one of
double-double.
the things that I'm not amazing at. So whenever I get it right, I'm like, yes, gold star for me.
It's one of the only things I'm not amazing at. You're so humble, Callan.
It's one of very many things that I'm not amazing at. Keep going.
Not a good outcome.
Yeah, no, keep going.
He's just got to play stuff. It's so bad.
Right. Use it
It's the
now.
only thing he can do.
When RDU needs to like not well,
No spell.
that's about as bad as RDU could have drawn. Every other card in his deck was something.
Yeah, you got an Ahmet, though.
Oh, RDU complains about this turn.
Well, he's not complaining about this turn. Look at him.
Well, he better not.
He's digging deep, trying to figure out what the best play is because he drew a card that didn't help.
In my mind, I think you overcommit if you try to trade off the reborn Cycle Pump. I think keeping it,
I think I would tend to agree with that.
you
You
could
know
full
there's a
clear.
more arms, though.
Yes, but if he more arms, that means he's spending 3 of his 7 mana. You have an Amit and an Injured Blade Master in play.
True story.
So, in all honesty, I think just
Battle hard.
battle hard. Don't overcommit here. That's how you start giving up games.
What's the hero power worth over the Blade Master?
You
Gets
play
2
around the
damage.
more arms. Something to keep in mind. However, if they cast more arms, you're pretty happy. So I want to force
Yeah.
that position. Also,
Stop
do you even
playing.
play? No. I'm wrong here. 3 + 2 is 5, not 6. It does not actually kill the Wild Pyromancer. So even if it did, it doesn't. You picking up what I'm putting down?
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Cool. Hunterace is picking up this one Swampy and putting it down on the field. On the board, on the field?
Kind of the same.
I said Ford, which is definitely not.
If it was a winter-themed board, it would be a fjord.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
We have some of those. Little, like, ice. It's when we can, like, tap the crystal. Made of
Sure.
ice. Hey, don't be mad at me, because you know what?
I'm having a great time, Galen.
I enjoy the flavor of Hearthstone boards, which I personally very much enjoy. Okay? I think they do a wonderful job. You can play the theme song on the feet.
But that's one of my favorite things.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. That Bond Somni is actually scary.
It's so funny that RDU has an empty hand and Hunterace has a full one, and it just feels like disgusting.
That feels like a good draw.
It is a good draw.
Step 1, make the Ahmet bigger.
Love it.
Step 2, I want to make the Ahmet bigger still. I take that back.
Interesting.
I want the Tolveer to be bigger. I guess this does both. Spreads the health.
You get 2 extra by healing the Tolveer instead of the Ahmet. Actually, no, that isn't true, right? Because you
Yeah,
get the
you'd
1
say
extra. It's the
just
same.
spreads it.
It's the same.
Yeah, smart. All right, what can Hunterace make happen with this? The pressure is becoming real. Over 2 turns of RDU just goes face with everything. That's enough damage. So Hunterace
He's got
has to
3.
find a way to
He's
fight.
got 3 if he heals his face. Heals up to 18. Opponent deals 9. Heals
Yeah.
up to 11. Opponent deals 9. He has another turn.
Either
So,
draws a spell or a minion, though.
which is a lot.
Both of those things are adding
In
damage.
the light's name.
Fair enough.
In the light's name.
What that means for me, though, is that he can take an off turn. He does not need to do the desperation play that we often see in this spot that never works, which is play a cleric, heal a minion, try to figure out like a 5-piece combo when you have none of the pieces in your hand.
And that's kind of what I'm thinking for Hunterace as well, though. Is like, does he need to move all in here? Like, if he leaves his board too weak, it's going to get picked apart.
Is there ever any merit in going like beaming, divine, inner fire?
I mean, RDU doesn't have any cards. I kind of want to go in.
Not gonna lie, I kind of do too. Maybe you can start picking apart the board that way.
Hey, I got you, friend.
As awful as that sounds, having to use all of your divine spirit and inner fires.
Northshire Cleric. Okay, so RDU has to be careful with this position.
He has 17 cards left in his deck. I think.
Well, you need to trade
Is
first,
someone
right?
Injured?
Yes.
Okay.
That is important.
If you snap off that heal and excitement, things go awry quick.
All right, yeah.
Psychopomp.
That is. Oh my gosh.
More stuff. Big thing. Hunterace's board has been decimated.
Now we're in the desperation spot for Hunterace.
He's got to pick up something big. I'm thinking some crazy wild pyro circle chain thing. I don't even know if it works.
Nothing.
What must
We always
I do?
hypothesize here, but it's just overwhelming. You can start with a draw off of your Acolyte. That's probably what you want to do if you're doing a Hail Mary type of play. Draw a card off Acolyte.
I'm looking at Casper right now, and I'm thinking he's like, okay, well, you know, maybe
The very
not this
easy
one.
and consistent button is just bottom right and hit concede.
You know, you go out there, you give it 110%.
Is it top? There's some. He plays on a tablet, which I think is top right. So
I don't know. I mean, these turns require you to get moving, though. Like animations on Cleric, there's very time consuming.
is there a world where he can make like a 50-50 Acolyte of Pain? Well, that's something. You can always go
He's only facing 15 on the other side.
Amet, Beaming Psychic, Divine, Northshire Cleric. That's a real thing. That actually contests
Do you go Beaming Divine or Divine Beaming?
because you want to have the extra health. I think you... Honestly, that's tough. I think just playing them is the most important
I got you,
thing, but... I don't know. I think you want to do Divine or Beaming Divine because you want to be able to kill someone from 30, and that gives you 2 minions with 18 health instead of 3 with 16.
16, 17, 18, 19. I think it's lethal.
He's so dead. It's 4 over.
Yeah, it's 22.
Yep, it's 4 over.
Yeah, just don't topsy the Cleric. Guilty as charged. Guilty as charged.
Well, you get topsy, your opponent's player can probably still win the game.
Game 1 goes to RDU. Priest mirror matches are volatile. The decisions in the other game are magnified. And I think that this game was an exception to the rule.
I think it's a much-needed victory for RDU. It's one where Hunterace had the big payoff with how he played. He saved the Circle of Healing, and it just did not come to fruition.
RDU snuck in the board. I mean, it was the injured Blade Master versus the extra arms, right? Hunterace ignored the less likely outcome in extra arms, and he took a hit because of it. Like, you can't pay attention to everything in that matchup.
Yes and no. Hunterace set himself up for a massive payoff with Beaming Sidekick and Power Word Shield. Specifically Beaming Sidekick. Didn't see it. Didn't get the payoff.
Didn't work out. Volatile matchup, extra arms, punched injured Blade Master, and that was the start of the snowball for RDU.
All right. Yeah.
Easy game.
Easy. Whoa.
That
Well, now that for us, maybe.
That honestly, like the early game to that one was like seriously a big exception to the Priest mirror match rule, where it's like the decisions are super impactful and they carry a ton of weight and you have to make a million decisions. Like RDU had one thing to do. He played a 2-3 and then he extra arms it.
From RDU's side, I think it was pretty easy. From Casper's side or Hunterace's side, I think it was
Hunterace's side, it was tough.
very difficult.
Every turn had a million things and none of them looked good.
That's generally what happens when you're going second in the Priest mirror. Is like if you're going first, your game plan's pretty lined out. Like if you got a Power Word Shield and Inner Fire, okay, play the 1-drop Power Word Shield Inner Fire.
Get to killing minions.
Yeah. If you're going second, question marks all around.
Juggling everything at that point.
Yeah.
Quick break. When we come back, it's perhaps our final game here in our penultimate week. RDU taking on Hunterace in this one. RDU up a game and needs a win to stave off relegation. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome to Around the Fern. I'm Nathan Zamora. That's Admirable, you can call me, and I'm joined today by a very special player. Please state your name.
Christos Tsakopoulos.
I thought it was Fino. Like I've always called you Fino at tournaments.
Well, yeah, people call me Fino, Feno, Fenomeno, whatever you want to
Okay,
go with.
well, you got to. I think you need to pick one of them though. It's not just Fenomeno
Let's
or Fino.
go with Feno. Let's go with Feno.
Feno.
Yeah.
Okay. You're happy with that?
Mm-hmm. I think it will be easier for you.
So where are you living right now, and what's that like? What's that like for you in Hearthstone?
Yeah, now I'm just living in Greece with my parents. We have a really big apartment, and on the first floor, there's like a movie theater that my dad
Like
operates.
a movie like you guys make movies there?
No, there's no movie making in the movie theaters. You just show the movie.
So like you just show them other
yes,
people?
people come and they can watch the movie in the movie theater.
But you don't make them.
No, we don't make them. We get the movie and we show the movie in the theater.
I thought the whole point of the movie.
Just sell tickets, we don't make movies, and people come and watch the movie.
Okay. Well, I get. Let's just agree to disagree on that. Fenomeno, Fino, Feno, whatever you want to call it.
I'm done.
But we're in an interview.
My name is Casper. My alias is Hunterace. My username actually goes way, way back. I didn't actually come up with it myself. My father is like somewhat of a gamer and he had like his own gaming stuff. But what I did was I just stole one of his tags and used it for myself.
So Hunterace is really your dad?
Well, not anymore. Right now I reached like my ultimate goal for this year. We happened to win the World Championship and that was like the biggest thing, so I'm like still extremely happy about that. I think that the Grandmaster program provides an exciting opportunity to be able to play like high competition Hearthstone every week. Only competing against the EU players to start with is going to be a very difficult job, and it's going to be super hard to be like one of the standout performers and then qualify to the global finals. I would have to stay at my best to be able to qualify.
My name is Dimarado, also known as RDU.
I wouldn't say I'm the greatest. I feel like there are mechanical players better than me, but I still think like because I put also so much work, raw talent, I'm up there in like the top players of the world. I don't believe in the notion of having a play style. I feel like you either play well or you don't play well. At the same time, I think players have tendencies to pick decks. I tend to like combo decks, but I can play control, I can play mid-range, I can play aggro. In an open field, I will just take what I think is like the best. In something like Grandmasters, I think it's more important to be unpredictable and to have some surprises. I think I'm very good at optimizing decks. I can feel what cards are performing and what cards are underperforming after I play a couple games with them. With everything Hearthstone-wise just comes with experience. Having a lot of experience in the game helps you understand the new cards, helps you understand how new cards work, where you should play them, how you should play them. And same goes for matchups. I want to perform for my fans, if I can call the people that watch my stream that. And I just want to play some good Hearthstone and have a good time, because I just enjoy doing these tournaments and I enjoy playing Hearthstone for a living. It's the best.
It's our final match of the day for Hearthstone Grandmasters in Europe, at least. We're in day number 3 here, scintillating Sunday with our 6th match underway between Hunterace and RDU. I'm Nathan, that's Admirable Zamora, joined by America's Grandmaster Edward Gallon Goodwin. And right now, RDU up a game, and we're headed into a Druid versus Priest matchup. Hunterace on the Priest.
I'm feeling good for Hunterace in this one. Not going to lie. We've heard a lot of people say Druid is okay versus Priest. No, it isn't. Hunterace is here to smack a Druid down.
I think it's a pretty bad matchup.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Some people are saying it's 45-55, but I
will say I think it's closer than I initially thought. I think a lot of Druid play has become cleaner as that deck has moved on. The deck's not as clunky, I think, as it was during the introduction point, and I think that if anyone understands the mechanism by which Druid is going to win the matchup, RDU is certainly one of those players that comes to mind. Like, you need to kill early minions and then Worry about your quest later.
That's the thing about this, though, is that a lot of these players understand the mechanisms behind it. And when you're playing against Hunterace, who arguably understands the mechanism behind just Hearthstone in general. Like, in general, it's going to be rough.
Is someone injured?
I will say that this hand, so far, not looking like necessarily the mechanisms behind it. But I think with the Nubisath Defender picked up, that is a kicker to the matchup.
It is pretty crucial. A lot of times you want to take a swing turn where you might be dead if you can't protect against the secondary minion. Nubisath Defender works against the secondary minion. That being said, Hunterace's hand is very strong.
What do you think, Gallon? The 5/5 or the Light Warden?
I want to see a card. So does Hunterace.
Same question.
It's interesting, right? It's tough. I personally prefer here a Light Warden, I'd say, just because you have the high roll potential of getting a Divine Spirit off the top, and then it doubles the power of the Inner Fire.
It's an excellent point. RDU, the deep breath. He knows he's under fire.
I wouldn't say he feels just quite in the hot seat yet. He's still up a game. If things don't go as... Oh. Well, things are quickly not going to go his way. Anyways. No, I mean, there's actually still a lot of fight left in this. Hunterace does not have a way of proccing or turning on his clerics.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's not drawing cards off the cleric. RDU's going to complete on 5, or on 4, rather. And so if Hunterace can't find a way to bolster the health of the minions in play, or to start delivering some serious pressure, like, I mean, this could be trouble.
Well, he does have the option of just going in this turn with an Inner Fire, heal RDU's face, start pushing that impressive damage.
That's kind of where I'm at.
It's okay, but I don't think it's the smartest idea just based on his hand. I think that if Hunterace lets RDU, say, Wrath one of his minions, it leads into a second plump turn. But what do I know? Hunterace says, let's push the 8.
I like it. I like the call. Damage plus damage. And you know what's happening next turn? More damage.
I'll tell you what's happening this turn. Not a thing.
Hero power.
It's half of a warrior armor.
Ooh.
RDU gets a 50% from you.
The lost art of half of a warrior armor up. You take what you can get. Another Light Warden.
Wow. Have to imagine from Hunterace's side, he's interested in just going full, yeah.
It's all in time.
All in. You get double the bonus from hitting, from healing your opponent's face. Both Light Wardens get buffed. You're just actively dealing damage by healing his face at this point.
RDU's going to drop to 15 and then complete quest. The following turn, you're going to have 10, 13, 14 available.
But that's the thing. Is
you are going to be 1 damage away from killing.
Yes, but at the same time, I'm not even sure if RDU has the liberty of passing this turn.
Well, RDU's going to gain another armor as well. So the thing about it for Hunterace is if RDU gets by, because he's able to sneak in like a Starfall and then play that Nubisath Defender in the way, that's a way to win the game.
I'd really like to see Hunterace play this cleric. I think holding it back is just a waste of potential.
Oh, excuse me, no. RDU's on... Oh, no.
RDU's very dead.
He has to do something this turn, excuse me.
If he passes this turn, he is going to take 16 damage, and he knows about that 16 damage.
Yeah, it's all on board.
That being said, coin Oasis Surger, or Innervate Oasis Surger, excuse me, and just kill the 5-2 and the 3-2. You're alive. You're back in, I wouldn't say amazing standing, but you can follow up with Starfall the 5-5, play Nubisath Defender. Just take a break from completing your quest.
It doesn't matter if you complete it super early or not. You have to stave off the board.
I really don't like the Starfall here because giving damage to the cleric both clerics actually, is just a recipe for disaster. What that leads me to believe is...
Can you play Starfall now in a Nubasath defense?
Time waits for no one.
I think it's going to be better next turn. You could do it now. I
think it's better next turn as well. I'm just curious if there's a setup.
Ah. It doesn't look like he targeted. I'm confused.
He's saying that giving over the card draw is something he's not afraid of right now.
But he should be. That's...
I agree. Wouldn't have mattered. I think he's going to end up losing this game with that draw.
With Divine Spirit off the top. Well, like, he still sets himself up for... Well, no, Lodi doesn't work because you
Divine
don't
Spirit
have...
is huge.
This Neversit Ritualist is...
Lights out. Yeah.
It was unlikely.
There were sacrifices on both ways. If you use the Anubasath this turn, this was obviously the punish for it. If you use the Oasis Surger on the previous turn,
the thing about it is...
health buff does it.
Hunterace gets a free 2 cards to draw with just his hero power with a Starfall.
I get it. I agree that the Oasis Surger was superior, but I think when... in this scenario, it was damned if you do, damned if you don't. With Druid, you have to answer stuff fast.
Quest is complete for RDU. Can he maybe stabilize with Hidden Oasis? It's just going to be so tough against this High Priest Ahmet if he doesn't just die this turn.
14 plus 3.
I count 17 with Power Word Shield to 1/3, Divine Spirit, Inner Fire.
Oh. I always just go for the biggest health one. That's how I calculate it.
If you do the biggest health one, you also get 17. So in this case, either one will give you 17, I believe.
How did I count 14? Was that just the one single minion?
That's just a single minion.
Oh, yeah.
Does that do it?
Yeah, it looks like you're mana off.
A mana off.
I don't know how RDU answers the biggest Northshire cleric of all time, though.
Of all time? You think that's the biggest Northshire cleric of all time in the years of Hearthstone's existence? A 5/7 is the biggest Northshire cleric of all time?
Well, you could make it an 18 health.
You think 18 health is it?
Gallon, have you ever counted higher than 18? I don't think anyone's ever done that.
This is a interesting scenario.
It's about the number of dollars I have in my pocket right now.
Oh, is this just lethal?
Oh,
this is
you
just
drew
lethal.
Topsy?
You drew the Topsy. That's the 2 extra damage. Well done, Hunterace.
Wow. Like I told
While we
you.
were talking.
See, look, 14-3.
And here's where shielding the bigger minion is more important. Is because when you get the Topsy draw, if you Topsy a 5/5, it's still going to be a 5/5. A 1/3, it's going to be a 3/1. We counted the 17. He was at 19. Topsy the 3/1, get the 2 extra damage. Exactly lethal.
Check mark Hunterace. Game 3 now.
Just another small optimization that leads to some fantastic wins.
Priest wins back-to-back. That's what I expect from these two. Protect the Priest, play the Priest. Lose the Priest, play the Priest again.
Makes some sense.
Gallon approved.
Seal of approval for me.
All right, so now we await game number 3. So taking a look at it side by side, RDU had his Warrior banned away in this one, I believe, or was this Mage that was banned away?
RDU has his Warrior band. Hunterace has his Mage band.
There we go. Oh, I did the thing again where I mixed up the deck lists. Now they're right. And now I see RDU. I go left to right. That's how I do it.
Makes some sense.
The player on the top and the player on the bottom, so left to right.
Gotcha,
That's how I would read it.
Makes sense. So
Mage band away is, that one's tough for RDU.
yeah, Mage actually has, surprisingly, it's considered the best deck versus Priest right now.
I think it's pretty strong against Priest.
I
There's a lot of
agree.
game to check. Like, one of your answers to Doomsayer is... RDU showed us this, so like I just didn't even realize this was a thing. He got his Doomsayer silenced, and then he went into Ray of Frost, coin, Zephyrus, get an Inner Fire it to a 7/7, take the board.
Zephyrus is really cool. It understands like so many different interactions. Yes, sometimes it'll, not fully understand like the macro game plan, but man, it's
imagine a card understanding the macro game plan.
Like, what are you going to ask about, right?
Exactly. Like,
You want Zephyrus to be in
works.
GM as well?
Look, Zephyrus works in a very particular way. There's no randomness to the card. It does the thing that it does because of the spot that you're in.
Yeah.
End of story.
It's not going to...
If you didn't get the card you wanted, what that means is you didn't understand how the Zephyrus worked in that spot.
That's very fair to
He's
say.
extremely complicated. I don't blame anyone for not knowing how it works in particular spots.
There's so many times, like we saw a game with Fino as Holy Wrath Paladin where it's just a weird interaction, and
I've seen it with a lot of players. I will tell you the one thing that is true as rain. It is that card, Zephyrus, and Defender of Argus. He just loves Defender of Argus.
You know what? I made fun of it a bit for giving Gorehowl a ton. This week, Gorehowl's been great a lot of times.
It's just damage.
It's really funny that it's just better than Tyrion in most cases.
A lot of times, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Paladin for Hunterace, Druid for RDU. 2 copies of Ferocious Owl in the deck for RDU. That's enough for me to tick this as Druid favorite. However, he is running a copy of Chef Nomi, which I believe is a pretty darn dead card in the matchup.
It's a 7-mana 6/6.
Yeah.
That's not that good.
Clogs up a hand space, but your main goal is to find pressure onto Hunterace, so that way his card draw is slower, that way his take turns off, he's using AoE, and you have better times to threaten. In the meantime, you're trying to build a hand where from left to right, you have enough healing that you can back yourself up against the double Holy Wrath onslaught that you expect to encounter.
2-mana Acolyte is pretty good. I think the mana cost on Subdue being 3 is not that impactful, but it being 2 on Acolyte is. So overall, I'd say that was a net benefit from Hunterace.
Thinking like Wild Pyro turns and stuff.
Yeah.
Just being able to sneak it in general.
I mean, even next turn, Flashlight Acolyte of Pain is suddenly a play.
Yeah, just
might not
card
be
draw.
it, but it's there.
RDU's thinking about something.
What?
And I'm not sure what. My instinct is that he's considering a 1/6 taunt. Helps fight it off True Silver, keeps that little 3/2 pressure going. However, in the face of Consecration into True Silver, not so much.
I like holding on to the War Druid Lodi. I think, yeah,
It's powerful.
It's way, way, way better after the quest is complete. We were talking about Wild Pyromancer. Draw a card.
And then you know what you do?
Hopefully draw more cards.
Yep. All right, interesting turn. At some point in Paladin, you will stumble on card draw. Hasn't entirely stumbled just yet, but 1 card off Acolyte feels way worse than 2.
It seems like it might be a little bit too much of a rush to play the Acolyte here. Holding it makes a lot of sense. You got a Wild Pyromancer in your hand.
Kind of like playing the Wild Pyro.
Oh, okay. You want to play the Wild Pyromancer?
I want to.
Yeah, I feel like any minion that you play right now is just going to get checked by the Oasis Surger. So there's really no difference between playing the Wild Pyromancer versus the Hero Power.
That's kind of what I'm at too. Like I'm thinking hand space is an issue as well. Like there's so many things to account for down the road. And so I think when you tie it all together that this does make the most sense. Like it's a pretty yucky feeling, but it's honestly probably the best you got.
I agree.
Oh, gosh. Playing a Holy Wrath Paladin is so painful to me because I'm like, I don't want to do these things. They're so inefficient.
Well, the good news is that as soon as he finds a Crystology, Hunterace is back to the races in terms of cycling.
The problem is there's a pair of Oasis Searchers on the other side of the board, and so now finding Crystology
now
becomes
you have to deal with the board.
pretty paramount, and immediately hand size is presented as an issue. And I think with the Shrink Ray, you probably have your turn sized up in front of you.
Is it really that? What about Blood Mage Thanos Subdue a 5/5?
So mitigate the damage now and try to...
Still set up for it. You have a Wild Pyromancer Equality clear the following turn, and you save the Shrink Ray for a Cenarius, for example. Yes, you take some damage, but you cycle through your deck, you don't take that much, and you save a board clear for later.
Accomplishing 2 goals at the same time.
Yeah.
Draw and mitigate. Always look for opportunities to do both. The Shrink Ray just feels so appealing to me.
I think it is Oh, so he's just going timeout here.
Interesting. All right, what that means is that for Hunterace, he's very much considering hand space, and that timeout number 2, he does not expect to use for quite some time. One of the main issues with timeout in the matchup is that when you go into your first Holy Wrath, you need to be able to time out where the pressure is so terrifying. The Druid just plays stuff, and you're in trouble.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Because they generally have stuff that they can play.
Yeah. Wild Pyro equality.
He's
Easy.
been setting this up. So he's pretty much saved the subdue with this play and 8 life.
Yeah,
Which sounds...
This makes a lot of sense to me as well. You go to 9 cards on turn 7 with Subdue going down to 8, Prismatic Lens going down to 7 cards again, and you fill up your hand to 9 and you draw to 10. The turn 7 is the hardest thing to fill up on Holy Wrath Paladin, and I think he's done a fantastic job of recognizing that the cost shifts here allow him to do it well.
He found a great turn to timeout, which led to this spot.
Yeah. For RDU, not a ton of pressure to add, but I think it's probably enough. You expect Hunterace to be drawing cards next turn, so you want to do as much as you can to punish that.
Like minions, go face.
Exactly.
Smart.
You have a Worthy Expedition in your hand as well, so finding like Tending Torrent, finding Power of the Wild, finding Cenarius can bolster the damage. I want to play as much as I can.
I think you got to go all in. A half measure here with only one Anubis defender is just not going to be enough. Hunterace will not be threatened. He won't use resources. That's the thing about it, is you need to threaten them enough that they use the resource. If they don't use the resource, then you just delayed the game plan for yourself by a turn. And every single turn Holy Wrath Paladin gets is way, way, way better for them.
Oh, yeah.
You do not want the game to go long against Holy Wrath.
It's a deck that's like super very loosely dedicated to like just barely towing the line and like sneaking past and dancing through raindrops.
When the first question the deck asks is, am I dead this turn? Like,
no? Okay, how many cards can I draw?
It's a very specific type of play style.
Lens first, see if that changes anything. Ooh, that one's awkward.
Yes and no.
Well, shifting a novice to 5.
It's awkward because of that. It makes cycling harder. However, 2-mana Holy Wrath is not that bad. You can fit it on like a lot more turns, I would say.
It allows you to actually burst for 31 as well.
Yeah.
Because you get the Banker, Shirvala, Holy Wrath for 2 mana, and then Zephyrus Fireball.
Ah, yes. Timing out here.
Whoa. I'm wondering if that 2-mana Holy Wrath changed this.
Wow, that is a
Nourish.
huge pickup.
Nourish.
Yes, the Nourish is a huge pickup. That's fantastic. There's literally nothing
visibly
better.
Uncomfortable.
There's literally nothing better.
Keep drawing.
From RDU's perspective, Ferocious Howl here just makes it too, like, it's...
First Howl easy.
Makes a ton of sense. You have the far left Howl. You're going to be set up for this Elise very quickly.
It's another interesting spot that actually I saw yesterday in Americas, which didn't intuitively occur to me, which was the armor total that you're at versus the first Holy Wrath. If you're at too high of an armor total, your heal actually ends up being somewhat inefficient when you go into the Hidden Oasis turn. So I think that the right count is around like the 8 to 12 mark for armor, because it means the first Holy Wrath's knocking you down to like 15, and then you heal up to 27 and then armor again.
Yeah.
So you're safe from some of the Shirvala
There's
attacks.
actually like, there's a total increment, which is, I believe, 13 armor. That deals 13 armor, 12 to you, Hidden Oasis heals you back for 12. So after 13, armor becomes less.
Diminishing return.
Yes.
Very weird circumstance. It hadn't really occurred to me, and I was like, this is how I'm literally losing Warrior games in this deck.
Can we just talk about the fact that Hunterace played a 5-mana Novice Engineer and a 3-mana Subdue?
It's got a cycle.
Yeah. So far, he's only seen the negative side of the Prismatic Lens.
Another Nourish.
You have to take it, right?
Well, it's a Nourish.
So you take it.
I mean, RDU is going to be outpacing Hunterace, a deck that is dedicated to drawing its deck.
And staying alive and killing your opponent. all that fun stuff.
RDU's deck is dedicated to attacking with minions because they have all their effects combined with each other.
And drawing cards.
Kinda.
And staying alive.
It's got Crystal Merchants.
Quest Druid is pretty much Holy Wrath Paladin.
It's
They're the same deck.
a lot worse at staying alive early.
That's a lot of damage. This gives Hunterace an opportunity, though.
Zephyrus active.
Shrink Ray Consecrate also pushes 3 damage. Every point and chip against armor matters.
He's got so... His mana's just been perfect. I love it.
He spent 8 mana on a Novice Engineer to subdue. Well, wait a second. Oasis Surger is...
Oh, it doesn't matter if he burns cards.
I wasn't even thinking about that. I was thinking more so just
My
playing
hand is too full.
20 damage worth of stuff this turn.
Well, that card kind of mattered.
Was it really that bad to play 2 Oasis Surgers? I guess he gets to go double Elise this way, but...
I kind of like this because perhaps it leads Hunterace into a territory where he takes a risk.
Very true. This Crystology is pulling a Crystal Smith Kangor.
That's it.
That's it. Elven Archer Zephyrus Flame Strike is one potential way of like slightly seizing board, but
I think you need that damage.
oh, and there is a
Wait,
Novice
there's
Engineer.
another Novice. Oh, excuse me.
No, that's my fault. I said that he had played one earlier in this game.
Oh, he did. Played a 5-mana one.
You know what I mean. Before that, yeah.
All right. So if you wanted a hint of Hunterace and how he feels, this is it. So now my curiosity is going to be on Zephyrus Banker lines. I talked about this yesterday in the match with Vino, where the endgame lines where you're trying to find alternate wins with Zephyrus are extremely difficult and they're extremely risky. So Hunterace says he's going to rip the Holy Wrath. 1 in 6. Doesn't nail it.
Doesn't get it.
Now the alternate game plan for Hunterace begins. He has to find a way to deliver enough damage to make the second Holy Wrath lethal.
The only problem with that is RDU has the double Ferocious Howl. Look at RDU's face. Right now he understands that the game plan for Hunterace has shifted dramatically in favor of RDU. Okay? So as long as he stays alive, as long as he copies this Ferocious Howl with his Elise, I believe RDU is going to get out of this game.
The pure goal now is stay alive.
It really is. He even has the chance to make multiple Ferocious Howls if he wanted to with Elise, the Oasis Surger that is currently a Floop. Becomes an Elise, he can make more Ferocious Howls that way.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessary. I think 2 is enough.
Get the hand empty.
Remember that RDU is just safe as of now.
What is the... Does Zephyrus give you Edwin here?
Time waits for no one.
Actually, is he safe?
It depends on how fast
No.
Hunterace can get through this.
Remember that Hunterace has a 2-mana Holy Wrath. He can deal 32 next turn. I like this line from RDU. He understands that.
Whoa.
This shuts off the potential for Hunterace to just win the game off the spot.
Whoa, that is like super next level.
Yeah. I think RDU understands where he is in this matchup. He only needs a single hit in Oasis.
He burned 1.
There's another one in his deck.
Yeah, I mean, he's only got 3
He only
cards
needs
left.
One. He only needs 1.
Let me think.
I don't know. I think that play.
How much fatigue damage is RDU going to take?
He just gave himself another 20% in this matchup. Like, think about that. He legitimately gave himself another 20%. Hunterace could have gone Shirvala, Baleful, Holy Wrath, Zephyrus, Fireball. RDU denied that. By doing something that looked unintuitive and strictly wrong. Like, if you were just looking at it from a blank slate, you didn't know what was going on, you said, oh, why would he Ferocious Howl? He just gave himself another 20% in this matchup.
Seriously.
That's ridiculous.
like the matchup for Hunterace is about recognizing the volatility of spots and seizing your percentage where you can get it. That Ferocious Howl strips away that panic button that Hunterace could have.
Absolutely fantastic recognition by RD.
One shot, one hit.
There's a hidden oasis.
How do you close from here? It's solvable.
For both players, I would say.
Well, for Hunterace's side, that solvability is not what he wants to see right now.
Not what you want to see,
He wants
no.
to create dynamic circumstances that give RDU unfamiliar territory.
What that means to me is you don't want to go to fatigue if you're RDU, so that means you want to spend 10 mana this turn. You just want to have an answer to...
Could theoretically kill your own Crystal Merchant with a Starfall.
Yeah, you could.
I think Tyrion time sounds pretty good.
You're still safely out of range even if you leave up a 1-1 and you can kill the 3-4 on another 1-1.
Spending 10 mana. Don't draw a card off the
Do
Crystal
you
Merchant.
want to eliminate the potential of Zephyrus just giving you random stuff? Doesn't matter. Gives him the Tyrion. That's good. Just something to keep in mind.
I'm almost out of cards.
The biggest problem for Hunterace right now is that as soon as he casts this Baleful Shrivala, Hidden Oasis is going to gain RDU a lot of life.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, can he manipulate the game state to a point where RDU is taking fatigue? He needs to get RDU down to a life total that is 25 from the Shrivala, and then Baleful, Banker, Holy Wrath, so that's 25. He has 4 mana left over, or 6 mana left over for his Zephyrus. Zephyrus' best outcome is Fireball, so 25 plus 6 is 31. So can he get RDU to a spot where he's at 31 life, still having Shrivala, Baleful, Holy Wrath in hand?
I don't know.
It's time.
I don't know.
It seems really difficult. That being said, he could always just pass this turn, try not to go for a Holy Wrath. Do it next turn, and then have Zephyrus the Great plus a 6 mana play.
Missed.
Out of cards.
That actually... What if
He missed.
he could open himself up 4 additional mana by taking a 50-50? So he gets to have 6 instead of 4, is that right?
I don't know,
man.
Gallon, but he missed.
For duty. I'm almost out of cards.
It's just something weird to think about. RDU just needs to lock up this game. That means playing Elise, playing the Swipe, killing off his Crystal Merchant so nothing funky can happen, and you're just good to go. You don't even need to do it. You can probably spend your mana for your rest of the game.
You got a Nomi in hand.
You're good. You're good to go. Last card is Shrivala.
I'm out of cards.
Hunterace's game plan looks very complicated, and I'm going to ask him about it later. I see some lines that he's going for. It's like mostly like deal 25 into like some Zephyr shenanigans with the True Silver on the next turn.
Well, remember that RDU didn't get greedy. I think Hunterace was setting up for a spot where if RDU just says, oh, I'm going to hold on to this Ferocious Howl to guarantee myself 50 life or so, Hunterace suddenly has a very clear window of opportunity where he has, you know, the 1 in 5 or 1 in 4 to just go Shrivala, Banker, Holy Wrath, Fireball.
And RDU just, he proactively attacked against that. He
Proactively played around it using an unintuitive strategy.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
Hunterace is trying to catch him off guard.
RDU, calm and collected. I'm trying to think for Hunterace what he could possibly do to get out of this game, but you know about the Starfall in RDU's hand.
There's too many cards on RDU's side.
There's just no way that
anything you do gets checked.
Everything you do gets checked. It's just...
So try to fatigue him with the Crystal Merchant.
Just play something. Why not? You're already drawing a card anyways.
Job's done.
That's pretty funny. This is
This is a formality.
Yeah, this is a salt game state. Hunterace shakes his head. He knows that this one has slipped away from him, but he's still in really good standing in his group.
That's not what he cares about.
I know. This is the first O2 weekend Hunterace has had in a long time.
A very long time.
Very long time.
I wonder.
Just... There's nothing.
I must move quickly.
Lizard, Shirvala, token, 3-2.
Maybe RDU disconnects? Even then, I'm pretty sure he's lethal on board.
RDU's reaction is...
The victory.
Yeah.
There we go.
RDU, crucial week for him to pick up this win here. He absolutely needed to have this.
With some fantastic gameplay as well. Sometimes we see people
So
struggle
good.
a little bit. Take, for example, Viper versus Hunterace yesterday, where, yes, some of the games I would say he did play phenomenally, but there was just
There were moments where he didn't.
And those moments are what cost him very large percentages in that game. I would say one of the moments arguably just immediately cost him a win. I think throughout that series, RDU played fantastically. He kept his composure. Very few, if any, mistakes from his side. And a fantastic recognition of when to use that Ferocious Owl.
That to me is the most surprising part, is understanding that he's trying to get caught off guard on the other side and saying, you know what, I can proactively work against this. I can Ferocious Howl now. I have the backup to keep myself alive because he's tried to hit me so far and he missed. So why let him do it again?
Deny the 20%. Deny the 20%.
Insane. RDU is ready for an interview. RDU, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Oh my gosh, the play at the end is so impressive. It was so good.
Was it correct? Because I wanted to play around 2 silver Zephyrs killing me. Because I saw that the 5-mana Novice Engineer, I knew that is because he plays Shrink Ray already. He has to have 2-mana Holy Wrath, and I was like, I don't wanna lose this game to an unlikely roll. But at the same time, if he hit the last 50-50, I still think I could have won, but it would be very hard.
RDU, I'm going to interrupt you right there. Yes, it was correct, and it was fantastic. I'm so happy to see that kind of play from you. Man, congratulations this week. I'm really happy to see you pick up a 2-0 this week.
It was so good. RDU, talk to me about how you're feeling right now. You really came correct in this set, and you need this one, and the standings still packed at the bottom. Lay it on me.
Yeah, I'm feeling really good, but I need to keep my head in the game because, if I mess up next week, it's still very bad and I can still relegate. But at the same time, I can still make playoff, but I don't want to think of playoff. I want to just play my best Hearthstone and what happens, happens. Whew, that series made me sweat.
Well, what are some of the other interesting spots to you in that match? Because there was a lot going on. A lot of the game seemed pretty intense.
Yeah, game 2, I'm not sure what was the right play. I always prioritize finishing quest, but I was dead on board, so I had to do something. I don't know. I don't think I could have done much game 2, I feel. Maybe keeping the surgery is too optimistic, but that's the way I think you win. Just rushing the quest, they draw badly. But he knew how to play that matchup really, really well. And with the Light Warden and applied a lot of pressure. And I don't know, I kind of got lucky with the queuing. My Priest wasn't that good against him. So getting the mirror match was really nice. And then I had to win the mirror match against the guy who invented the deck. That was pretty rough.
So talk to me about that pick and ban phase with Hunterace having Mage in the lineup. How did that change things for you?
It changed a lot because he didn't have any of the decks that I wanted to ban. So basically, there were 10, 20 situations. I want to give shout out to Neiria first and foremost because I called him last night and we did a 2-hour talk about like all the potential pick and ban situations. We ended up going for like something super simple, so like it's kind of like wasted time, but we were trying to look for an opening. But Hunterace is such a great player. He didn't let himself open to anything, and he did it really well, the pick and ban.
Wow, 2-hour call with Naria. That sounds
just
intense.
For pick and ban.
Yeah,
just for pick and ban.
Naria's.
I don't envy you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really want to not relegate, so I'm trying to give myself the best outs.
Hey,
like,
you know what?
I have. Sorry?
Go on.
Oh, I was saying that I have a really good practice group. I mean, I said it like a million times. I'm so grateful that I have Casey, Thais, Bunny, and now Neria, who started playing again because he's going to go to Bucharest. It's just amazing. And I don't think, like, Hearthstone is a solo game, but without all these people around me, I think it would be much harder.
Well, I hear that for sure, and I echo that sentiment, and I think it's a great way to put it. RDU, congratulations on your win. You have a 2-0 week here. Very solid looking, and like you said, still in the run for playoffs, taking it one game at a time. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Wow. What a fantastic way to end.
That's great. That's just some good Hearthstone.
2-hour call about picks and bans. My gosh.
It paid off.
It would make my head explode.
I can't get over that last game.
That's so much.
I can't get over that last game.
Well, you're going to have to, Gallon, because we got to get going soon, and you got a match to play anyway. Let's take a look at the schedule, see what happened today. We had 6 matches that were in the books and a lot of crucial wins. It was almost a middle column gamers weekend, but RDU bucks the trend, picks up the win over Hunterace.
Breaks the mold.
Such a crucial win for him. Thais also getting a big win over Orange to secure himself a better looking spot as they hunt for those playoffs. Pavel getting another big win. And for Casey, he's climbed firmly into the black now. He is finding himself with a positive record after a lot of unfortunate incidences I think that have happened against him this season, but continues to keep his head in the game and continues to play really well.
Yeah, I mean, we had a ton of intense matches today. My favorite was Swids versus Silvername. It came down to apparently a 1-in-4 to Swids to win. There's 3 bombs left in his deck.
Yeah, it was pretty brute.
But even besides that, I felt like a ton of the games that we had today were just fantastic showings and just how to play these matchups.
It was seriously some great demonstrations of understanding whether you were way ahead or way behind. You saw how the players are thinking when they're in desperate situations and when they're firmly in the lead.
I felt like today was one of the deepest understandings of Hearthstone we've seen in a while.
And so for now, we look at the standings, and Viper stands alone at the bottom. Next week is absolutely crucial for him. And for Fino, it's in the same boat. Psycho leads him by that single match score that's there. And standing atop, Hunterace at 9-3, Bunny Hopper at 8-4, picked up his first game loss piloting Shaman in Season 2 of Grandmasters.
Is he washed? That's clearly a joke. Bunny Hopper is not washed. No one clipped that. That's wrong. The answer is no. He is not washed.
Don't tell people not to clip it. That's not how that works.
Well, you can tell them to clip it. You can also tell them not to clip it, I assume.
They both lead to a clip.
Fair enough.
Either way, that's going to sign us off for here. Gallon, thank you so much for joining us, but you still got some work left to do.
Yeah, I've got a match, and it's later in the day, so hopefully I can get a nap in, get some food in my belly, get some wins under my belt.
Get to playing some Hearthstone. Trying to turn it back around. You lost an algo down last time.
Turn it back around? I'm still have a positive win rate.
Well, I'm telling you to talk about the Nalguidon dynamic.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Get that win.
Try to, at least. At least try to try.
I try in like every match ever.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you, Gallon.
Thanks, you.
That's going to wrap it up for here at Europe for this region. We have one more week of regular season Grandmasters left, and then it's playoffs time. But we're not done with Hearthstone. We're shipping it over to TJ and Sottle, who are picking up the Americas matches. For myself, for Gallon, for everyone here in the production crew, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.